feel like hope is gone. Fight like a champ now. You gotta dance to see your victory. Dance, dance, you gotta dance. What? Dance, dance, you gotta dance. Come on. Dance, dance, you gotta dance. Never look back till you see your victory. I had a hard life, long nights, never did I back down or surrender. Kept my head to the sky.
Good evening. Welcome to Cinema Street. This is a show by filmmakers, about filmmakers, and for anyone who loves the movies. We have something a little different, a little special for you this evening. As we know, every movie comes from a great story. We have to start with a great story, and our story tonight is You Gotta Dance. I have guests this evening. My guests this evening are Mr. Michael DeLuz and his cousin Bryant DeLuz. And Michael and Bryant are from New Haven, born and raised here, came to the New Haven school system, and have a unique and special story to tell. Mike?
Hi, Becky.
How you doing?
I'm
Bryant?
fine. How are you?
Hello.
How are you doing tonight?
Good. Yourself?
Good.
So, where'd You Gotta Dance start? You went to school in New Haven? Grew up here?
Basically starting from a past of abusive home, neglectful father and mother, and the path which led to the streets of New Haven. Grew up in Ashford Street Projects, Orchard Street, which is now KSI, and Eastern Circle, pretty much running around doing things I wasn't supposed to be doing.
The boys in the hood.
Oh yeah, boys in the arm, carrying guns, selling drugs, just running the streets, doing a lot of robberies, things of that
And
nature.
you
So,
lived the high life.
yeah, terrible life, but at the time, this is what we thought was the way things were going to go in the early 80s. And, you know, drug selling was really big at one point in time in the city. And so we just kind of figured it was going to be the way to riches and the way of life at that point in time. And thank God what happened to me kind of changed those belief systems.
What was the first major event to take you on the path to where you are now?
I think the first major event was the shooting at Southern. I was a student at Southern Connecticut State University. I was involved in a melee, a racial brawl, where I was beaten by over 13 white kids, and I shot one of them. And that was the beginning of, well, the transformation.
The beginning of the transformation.
Yes.
Let's back up just a little bit, because you had served in the United States Army, am I
Yes,
correct?
U.S. Army veteran.
And Army veteran, honorably discharged.
Correct.
And
Army
no
Achievement
issues.
Medal, good conduct medals, but still kind of a knucklehead in the service too. It took a while for them to break me, and then once they did, I became a stellar soldier. But I still had this rebellious mentality, and I loved to fight a lot. Still went to jail for AWOL a couple times in there. So it wasn't a great path, but I think those were great attributes of being a great soldier, was being able to somewhat be resistant, but then understanding at some point in time what those commands or what that authority meant to saving your life. So once I was able to grasp that, I became a stellar soldier and outstanding. Love the United States Army. It's the only tattoo I have on my body. I love this country. I love being a U.S. Army veteran. And
right.
we have a history of veterans in our families. Grandfather, U.S. Army. Uncles, U.S. Army, Vietnam. Grandfather's Korea War. So, you know, we have a long history of being
Long history.
spending time in service.
So we'll fast forward a little bit. You're going to Southern Connecticut State College?
Correct. Come home, ready to play baseball.